So, what has wintering looked like for me? It means, again, sleeping in, drinking hot tea, watching things that are entertaining, connecting with my friends, listening to music, really just nourishing myself, like healing the things that hurt in me, right? Mourning the things I've lost over the year, reflecting on the things that I've gained, the things that I've experienced over the year, really just sitting with myself, journaling, doing more introspective work as opposed to doing work that is for the masses, like doing work that is, facing inward as opposed to facing outward. So in the Black Girl Creative Podcast, we talk about operating in the season of your life and in the capacity of your life. So we talk about the 4 seasons and we mirror that to mirror the seasons here in the States, or at least on the East Coast. And that is summer, fall, winter, and spring. And so each different season comes along with different expectations, different joys, different highs, different lows. And so right now I am in a winter season. It is literally winter. It is February as I'm recording this video. And in the winter season, you don't really see a lot of movement happen. You don't really see a lot of action being taken. You kind of see animals kind of hibernating. They're staying warm. I want to operate in the season that I'm in my life. And so if I am in winter season, I'm trying to operate like it's summer, it's not going to happen, or it's not going to happen well. So just like in the winter, some people get the blues. They get the winter blues, or some people suffer from seasonal affective disorder, meaning that there's less sunlight. It's very gray. It's very cold. Usually we're not really outside that much, and so people feel that heaviness of the winter season. And so when I'm in my winter season, I don't have a lot of energy. I don't have a lot of energy. I don't have a lot of focus. I don't have a lot to give. I use that season to really connect with my loved ones, to connect with myself, to really just not do anything, to just kind of be. And I found that before I was forcing myself to work like I was in the summertime in my winter season. And so I was frustrated with myself because I wasn't being as productive as I usually am. I wasn't being as, happy and vibrant as I usually am in the summertime, right? I'm trying to eat the foods that I eat in the summertime in the winter, and it's just not working. I don't want a salad when it's cold. I want soup. I want warmth. I want comfort. And so this year I'm doing things differently. In my winter season, I am doing as little as possible. Like in my winter season, I am just going to flow with rest. I'm going to wake up and see how I feel, and determining how I feel takes time and effort too, because I'm so conditioned to keep going despite how I feel, right? So I have to actually take time to be quiet and center myself and see how I'm feeling and go from there. And so that means if I wake up in the morning and I'm tired, I'm going to give myself permission to go back to sleep. I'm going to give myself permission to just cozy up on the couch and watch cartoons. I'm going to give myself permission to do one thing a day, right? I'm going to give myself permission to do more taking in things as opposed to exporting things. And so in my winter season, what really happens is I am taking that time to care for self. It's more about self-care and self-preservation and building myself up. And less output, less big projects, less, work, less toiling and laboring. It's about really operating in the seasons. And this idea of constantly being on, constantly working in every season it's a really new idea. It's really new because usually, if you grew up like in an agricultural society, you work with the seasons. In the spring you plant, in the summer like you till and you keep it together, in the fall you reap a harvest, in the winter you rest. That's how it's supposed to be. And so I really feel like as humans, even if you don't have winter wherever you are watching this, even if it's sunny, you can still be in a winter season of life. We were not meant to be productive 100% of the time. We were not meant to be on all the time. We really have to take time to not do anything, to do little, because we have to replenish all the things that we give to other people, all the work that we put out in the world. It's meaningful and it's impactful, but it doesn't have to be on 24/7. I'm really applying this to every part of my life and not just my personal life too, even my work. I understand that my work can be in seasons. Right now, the Black Girl Creative Podcast is not on. It's not being produced right now because it is winter season. And I felt like, I'm letting so many people down, like so many people are counting on me. But I have to practice what I preach. I cannot be on 24/7. And there are other projects that I want to complete. And if I'm on 24/7 with everything, I'm going to be overwhelmed, like overworked, and then I'm going to be burnt out just like I was at the end of last year. I really feel like there's a general sense of exhaustion and overwhelm that the whole world is feeling. One, we're fatigued from being in a pandemic for so long, but also people have just been pushing on like nothing has been happening. Like people haven't been losing their lives or losing their livelihoods. And I also feel like there's this awakening happening in the world where people are realizing that the life that they have been living is not it, that they just want to try something different and try something new. And for some people, that means moving out of the country. Some people, that means quitting a job. Some people, that means leaving a marriage, you know? But I really want us to really see if we can start implementing small changes in our lives first, starting out, and see if we can actually make our lives more enjoyable. Now, I can't tell you to quit your job and only work during certain seasons. A lot of jobs don't work like that. Some do. But what I am telling you to do is maybe in your winter season, when you're feeling tired or bogged down or depressed, instead of trying to fix yourself, you lean into those feelings and operate like you would a person who has low energy, limited time, limited resources. We have less daylight. We used to live along with the daylight. When the day was done, we're done. But far too often in society, we have to keep working and keep striving no matter what time of day it is. And I want you to lean more into being kind and gentle and loving to yourself and giving yourself what you need in the winter season, which is rest, which is time to yourself, which is deep connection with other people. We can use nature as examples for us in a lot of things. In trees, I like to use examples in the winter. So trees in the winter, they're bare, right? And if you look at a tree, you could say like, oh, this tree is dead. But really, the tree is conserving energy for what is most important, and that is survival. In the spring and the fall and even the summer, the leaves are out to get sunlight from the sky. The leaves are taking in sunlight, transforming that into food and keeping the tree alive. That's what's happening. But in the wintertime, there's less sunlight. It's a lot colder, right? And so in order to conserve energy, the tree drops the leaves. And that's why you have autumn, because the leaves are going to be it's going to take a lot more energy to keep the leaves alive in the first place, just to get sun that's not coming in. So instead of depending on the leaves to get sun, the trees just drop the leaves. The trees aren't dead. They're just dormant. They're just conserving energy. They're doing what is smart. They're shaving away excess so that they can focus on surviving and taking care of itself and taking care of the system of trees below the surface as well. And so in the same way, in our fall season, when we start to feel a little fatigued or feel a little like, I need to retreat, I need to take care of myself, right? It could be done beautifully. Like all the trees don't drop all its leaves at the same time. One by one, they fall. They change, they fall. They change, they fall. And in our lives, we can do the same thing. We don't have to stop things altogether, but we can pause, because please believe in the spring, if the tree is healthy, it will sprout leaves again, right? So in the same way, we can pause certain projects. Like for me, for like the Black Girl Creative Podcast, I'm pausing that for right now. It's not done, right? I still feel like I have more work to do with that podcast, but I am pausing because I have given it all I can for right now. And I need a break to live, to gain experiences so I can use that nutrients, if I'm a tree, use that nutrients and create more leaves in the future. And so, again, there are a lot of projects I'm pausing, like Black Girl Creative Podcast, the Full Well Project podcast I have going on. Even on my YouTube channel, I'm creating less videos because I'm in my winter season of life. Scarcity would say, no, you got to keep going. You got to post a video every single day, which I was doing at some point, which is a lot. You got to keep doing the thing. But I know that I want to operate outside of an algorithm. I also believe that the people who need to see my video will see it in due time, in the time that they're supposed to see it. And so no amount of me producing content is going to make that happen, right? I'm going to do what I can and put it out there, but I'm not going to, that's my boundary. I refuse to exhaust myself just to appease an algorithm, which is a machine, right? Because I'm not a machine, I'm a human being, and human beings need rest, they need breaks, but these systems are not set up for people to take breaks. Work is not set up for you to take a break. YouTube is not set up for you to take a break. Even social media, they want you to post constantly, keep giving. It's insatiable. They keep wanting you to give like that, but people do not operate like that. And so even if the culture is telling me that I have to do X, Y, and Z to be legitimate or to be valid, I create my own culture within my own work to say that I am valid and I don't have to do what you're telling me to do just to be valid. You know what I'm saying? So being okay with taking a break, being okay with working in seasons, being okay with being in winter season right now is what's working for me. And I give this to you for you to consider. What season are you in? Are you in your winter season? Do you feel bluesy? Do you feel kind of down, lethargic, tired? Maybe that's not something to be fixed. Maybe it's something to be honored and cherished and appreciated, and to work within the energy you have during that season. Because in the summertime, I'm good. Sun is up at 6 a.m., ready to go. And so I know that I operate in seasons, so I want to honor myself. I want to honor the seasons that I'm in. This is also a note that your seasons don't necessarily have to line up with whatever season it is outside. You can be in summertime and be in your winter, and maybe you feel more productive in the wintertime. Whatever works for you works for you. But when you hit that winter season, as we all do, honor it, cherish it, and give yourself room and space to do nothing, to do as little as possible, to conserve energy. Because when we are tired, when we're exhausted, if we keep working through that exhaustion, we're going to injure ourselves. And that is not healthy. Then you'll spend more time healing from that injury and then trying to get to a new normal with that injury. And then you'll be, testing out like, well, I don't want to injure myself again, or you'll put yourself back in that same cycle. So it's really important that we do operate within our seasons. So what has wintering looked like for me? It means, again, sleeping in, drinking hot tea, watching things that are entertaining, connecting with my friends, listening to music, really just nourishing myself, like healing the things that hurt in me, right? Mourning the things I've lost over the year, reflecting on the things that I've gained, the things that I've experienced over the year, really just sitting with myself, journaling, doing more introspective work as opposed to doing work that is for the masses, like doing work that is, facing inward as opposed to facing outward. And so hopefully my hope is that when I do overcome this exhaustion or this winter of my life, then I will be replenished and I'll be ready to hit the ground running or, walking or crawling or whatever, whatever I have the capacity for in that season to get started doing the thing. And so even, with recording this video, I said I didn't have energy to, put up a whole set and scene and, be cute and all this other stuff. It's like, this is all I got. Okay. So this is all I'm going to give. And it's enough. And it's enough because it still conveys the message that I want to convey. It doesn't have to be super pitiful. Just for it to matter. And so I hope this was helpful. If it was, please let me know. I would love to hear how you're wintering this season, how you're doing as little as possible. And even if you're not in your winter season, what season are you in? Are you in spring where you're just getting started? Are you in summer when you're in full, like you're just going all in? Are you in fall where you're like still, being productive, but you're more harvesting what the work that you've been doing? I would love to hear about that. I would love to hear from you. And one of the things I'm doing in my winter season is mastering the art of not doing anything. And if that sounds like something you want to try, check out this next video and I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye.